Dolly Martinez was once a hopeful face on My 600-Pound Life, a young woman fighting for a second chance. At just 25 years old, she weighed nearly 600 pounds. Every breath was a struggle. Every step felt impossible. But she still believed she could turn things around. She wanted a future free from addiction, free from pain. And for a moment, it felt like she might get there. But then, everything changed. At just 30 years old, her story came to a sudden and heartbreaking end. So what really happened? The news didn't come with warning. It arrived quietly, in a single emotional post. Dolly's sister shared it online, and within moments, the shock began to spread. Friends, followers, even strangers felt it. A life so young, gone so soon. But what made her loss hit so deeply? To those who knew her, Dolly wasn't just someone struggling with weight. She was warmth. She was laughter. The kind of person who could lift a room without even trying. Her sister described her as someone who made people feel seen, loved, and understood. The kind of presence you don't forget. And that's what made it harder. Because how does someone like that just disappear? 30 years old. For most people, that's just the beginning. Plans are still forming. Dreams are still unfolding. So why did her story end here? And was it really just about her weight? Dolly's journey became public when she appeared on My 600-Pound Life in 2022. At the time, she weighed 593 pounds. Her health was already in danger. She needed oxygen just to breathe. But despite everything, she showed determination. She wanted change. She worked toward it every single day. But was effort alone enough? She worked closely with Dr. Now, pushing herself to lose weight so she could qualify for life-saving surgery. The goal was clear. Lose enough weight. Get approved. Start a new life. But the path was brutal. Setbacks kept coming. Progress was slow. And even though she managed to lose 40 pounds, it wasn't enough. The surgery was denied. And that moment changed everything. But why couldn't she push further? Because her battle wasn't just physical. It ran much deeper. Behind the scenes, Dolly's life was falling apart. Her relationship had turned toxic. Her home life became unstable. At one point, things got so bad that her child was taken into protective care. Imagine that kind of pain. The kind that doesn't fade. The kind that stays with you every single day. How do you focus on healing when your world is breaking? She tried to escape. She left the relationship. But that decision came with its own cost. She ended up in a homeless shelter. Alone. Vulnerable. Searching for stability. It was there she met someone new, and things moved fast. Maybe too fast. Within weeks, they were engaged. But could love fix everything she was going through? The truth is, the emotional weight she carried was just as heavy as the physical one. Loss. Trauma. Fear. These things don't just go away. They follow you. They affect every choice, every step forward. And for Dolly, they made her journey even harder. So was she ever given a real chance to succeed? Even with all of this, she kept trying. She shared updates online. She showed glimpses of hope. She found a better place to live. She kept fighting. But the struggles never really left. They stayed in the background, growing heavier over time. And then came the moment no one expected. In March 2023, her condition suddenly worsened. She was rushed to the hospital. Doctors found fluid building up around her heart and lungs. Her body was failing. She was placed in a medically induced coma, hooked up to a ventilator. And despite everything they tried, it wasn't enough. Her heart gave out. Just like that, she was gone. But was this outcome inevitable? Her death was later confirmed to be caused by congestive heart failure, a condition worsened by years of strain on her body. But reducing her story to just that would miss the bigger picture. Because her life wasn't just about obesity. It was about everything surrounding it. The emotional pain. the instability, the trauma. All of it played a role. So could things have been different if she had more support? Her family was left devastated. Her mother spoke about the loss, describing Dolly as vibrant and full of life. Someone who still had so much to give. And that's what makes it even harder to process. Because she wasn't just a patient on a show. She was a daughter, a sister, a person who mattered deeply. For those who followed her journey, her story became something more. It became a reminder that these battles are never simple. That weight is often just the surface. Beneath it are layers of pain most people never see. And unless those are addressed, real change becomes almost impossible. So what can we actually learn from her life? Dolly's story is heartbreaking, but it's also important. It shows how physical health, emotional trauma, and life circumstances are all connected. You can't treat one and ignore the others. You can't expect someone to heal on the outside if they're still hurting on the inside. She fought. Every single day, she fought. And even though her journey didn't end the way she hoped, her story still matters. It still speaks. It still raises questions that don't have easy answers. Because in the end, it's not just about how she died. It's about how she lived. And what her life reveals about the struggles so many people face in silence.